Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. State of public emergency reimposed in St. James with additional SOEs declared for Hanover, St. Catherine and Clarendon. Justice Minister says the government will overcome crime even without the support of opposition. And later in sports, Olympic medalist B sample returns positive. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kerry-Ann Simpson. Here are the details. 2 women are among 3 people shot and injured in a bizarre incident at the Portmore branch of the National Commercial Bank this morning. TVJ News understands that sometime after 10 o'clock, members of a Beryllium security team went to the institution to load the automated banking machines. It's reported that the firearm of one of the guards accidentally discharged, hitting the 3 customers who were standing outside the bank. They were shot in the legs and have been rushed to hospital. The area is now cordoned off by police. Now, banking activities will still continue as customers are being directed to a different entrance into the institution. Quick action by the police prevented a suspected contract killing at Petrojam this morning. Initial reports are that sometime after 6 o'clock, men were spotted in a car parked on the state-owned oil refinery Petrojam on Marcus Garvey Drive. Detectives from the St. Andrews South Police carried out an operation and the men were detained. 2 illegal firearms were seized. The police say while investigations are still ongoing, it's suspected that the men were at the facility to carry out a contract killing. A state of public emergency has been reimposed in St. James. Additionally, SOEs have been declared for Hanover, St. Catherine and Clarendon. Herman Green has the details.
States of public emergency, SOEs, have been declared across the entire parishes of Hanover, St. James, as well as St. Catherine and Clarendon. The SOEs will initially last for 14 days, effective November 23. In giving reasons for the renewal and new implementations of the measure, it's noted that the Clarendon Police Division recorded the 5th highest number of murders of all police divisions. That's a 14% increase compared to the same period of 2022. Clarendon and St. Catherine, being adjoining parishes, accounted for 24% of the nation's murders since the beginning of the year. The St. James Police Division recorded the highest number of murders of all divisions so far this year, totaling 169 from January 1 to November 15. Hanover recorded 20% of the nation's murders. Residents in St. James have welcomed the state of public emergency in the parish. In the meantime, President of the West Jamaica Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Glenn Samuels, believes the SOEs should remain in place until the government finds a workable crime plan.
It is true that we would have loved to have a situation where the crime problem is brought under control and is maintained without the use of states of emergency. The fact is, until we get to that desired end, we just have to use the means that work. And you have heard from the citizens themselves that they feel safer, and that is a fact.
Herman Green, TVJ News.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is seeking to assure Jamaicans that Jamaica will overcome the crime monster and once again will be safe and prosperous. He says this will be achieved even without the support of the opposition PNP. More details from Kelisha Williams.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is accusing the People's National Party PNP of refusing to cooperate with the government or support it in the fight against crime. It's why he's appealing to Jamaicans to assist in the crime-fighting efforts by telling the police what they know and not merely sit by.
I work with justices of the peace, pastors, teachers, nurses, and ask them to work closely with the police. But the government is going to call on the citizens now to make sure you can assist in the fight against crime. Because far too many citizens know who are the criminals, who have committed the crime, but they keep silent.
Mr. Chuck says Prime Minister Andrew Holness has given the green light to increase penalties for the various crimes, including misprison.
You hear the crime? Misprison. When you know
says the entire country must now partner with the police and the government to rid Jamaica of crimes.
If criminals know that they will be exposed, they can't find any hiding place. That is what I've done in my community, Northeast Manchester, in Northeast St. Andrew. I tell everybody, if you know any criminals or anybody with guns, just come to me, because I'm the biggest informer. And we have kept Grand Spin, Barbican, Shortwood, legally quiet.
Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
There's still no word on when the regulations governing funeral homes and morticians will be brought to Parliament. There appears to be some confusion as to which ministry is to bring the matter before the lower house. The regulations were drafted in 2014. President of the Jamaica Association of Certified Embalmers and Funeral Directors, Calvin Lynn, says 3 weeks ago a health ministry official told him that the related regulations should be brought by local government Minister Desmond McKenzie. Mr. Lynn told our news team that a letter was sent to the local government minister on November 6, but on November 14, a response was sent.
The word untrue is in his letter, sent by email. Now, my question to the ministries and the government at large, what is going on? We are aware that the Ministry of Local Government has a part to play. But which of the ministries is really responsible for taking the regulation to Parliament and have it passed?
A missing 18-year-old from Westmoreland was found dead in Cabarito River on Wednesday. As Ramada Lyons reports, his loved ones had been searching for him since Monday.
Tragedy at Big Bridge in Westmoreland after what a community had feared was confirmed. The body of 18-year-old Janae McCoy was found Wednesday. He's suspected to have drowned Monday evening. Reports said that Janae was bathing at the Cabarito River in the area and then decided to dive in the water. After diving, he never resurfaced.
It's a very unfortunate situation. We have lost the life of a young man who presumably was having a bath here and just jump off to get a swim. Unfortunately, he cannot swim, and so because of the heavy terrain, the heavy movements of the floor of the water, that in itself would have created difficulty for him, which sadly we have lost him.
Mr. Miles expressed condolences to Janae's family and noted that as part of the frantic search, they sought to get divers from Negril, but they were not successful.
We are lucky that another resident here would have been an experienced diver over time. He is now being prepared to go in to comb the other area, the small portion of the river that has not yet been combed.
2 days later, sometime after 3 p.m. Wednesday, Janae's body was found in the river.
The body of the deceased was recovered in the river by residents with the support of the Marine Police. At this time, the police are conducting further investigations. The body was transported to the morgue pending a post-mortem.
DSP Mitchell said residents were instrumental in the search and urged other individuals using the river to be mindful.
A big part of what we want to mention is that the residents took on a very active role in the search. The divers from the area participated in the search. We are urging other persons using that area of the river to be cautious and to ensure that if you're unable to maneuver yourself in the water, then do not venture out into the water, as the area is considered to be quite deep, and oftentimes persons may find themselves in dangerous situations.
Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
And it's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. An assurance to Jamaicans that work is being done to keep the foods entering the country safe. It comes amid the growing threat from evolving bacteria. The details in this report from Dwayne Anderson.
Are you ensuring the food entering your body is safe? If the answer is yes, then you are part of the antimicrobial resistance AMR fight. AMR is caused mainly by the overuse of antimicrobials to treat, prevent or control infections in humans, animals and plants. 3 government ministries are at the forefront of the local response, including the Industry Ministry.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce recognizes that trade could be negatively impacted if policymakers do not invest in more international surveillance of food chains to support domestic food security and to protect our export industries.
Additional investments are therefore being made in the local food testing labs.
Our regulatory agencies also continue to work tirelessly to inspect and test food and animal products at all ports of entry, all food storage facilities, and all manufacturing and retailing facilities, with hopes of reducing incidences of food contamination. The ministry, through its regulatory agencies, also provides training and certification to pest control operators.
The prevention of AMR means the long-term protection of Jamaica's food chain, as well as the preservation of the health of Jamaicans.
We encourage each individual, every company, every sector to employ safe food practices from production to consumption. Help us to protect our domestic food chains.
The safety of food entering the human body has been front and center of local discourse recently after a video emerged showing a food vendor relieving herself at the popular crab circle in Kingston. The incident caused a lockdown of the location. Another case at a wholesale in Old Harbour St. Catherine also revealed a rodent infestation in flour being sold to the public. That facility was also shut down. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Television Jamaica correspondent Aries Fagan was among those honored at the annual Press Association of Jamaica's Veterans Luncheon. Mr. Fagan was recognized for his 33 years of service to media. The other honorees were Radio Jamaica correspondent Melvin Harris, 35 years, RGR Jamaica Observer correspondent Everett Owen, 30 years, and CVM TV's Kirk Hall, 26 years. The Veterans Luncheon is a staple of Journalism Week, which culminates on Saturday with the annual PAJ Journalism Awards. PAJ Week is being celebrated under the theme Journalism's Power, Truth Unleashed. Time now for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica is reporting that it has achieved significant success in its efforts to control inflation. As reported by Statin last week, headline inflation at October was 5.1%, which is within the central bank's target range of 4 to 6%. October's rate was below the 5.9% recorded at September 2023 and significantly lower than the peak rate of 11.8% recorded at April 2022. BOJ Governor Richard Biles says contributors to the lower inflation rate at October were declines in key drivers such as grain prices and lower shipping costs. On the international scene, a number of major shipping companies are pulling their advertising from X, Elon Musk's social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Major brands like Disney, Apple, IBM, NBC Universal, Paramount, Paris Hilton's 1111 Media, and CNN's parent company Warner Brothers Discovery have all suspended their advertising on X. This is over concerns about anti-Semitism and hate speech on the platform. This has put increasing pressure on X's new CEO to resign. The platform is trying to lure companies back, telling partners to help what it calls freedom of speech. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Kelisha Williams.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Ministry of Health and Wellness in Belize has advised the public of the mandatory recall of allergocetirizine anti-allergic syrup manufactured by Pharmix Laboratories Private Limited. The recall follows an alert received from the World Health Organization indicating possible contamination of the product with diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol, potentially harmful contaminants. The ministry says it is working to remove this product from the market. 2 people are dead after a speeding vehicle went airborne and then burst into flames at a border checkpoint at the Rainbow Bridge between US and Canada on Wednesday. A US Border Patrol officer sustained minor injuries and was taken to hospital. He has since been treated and released. According to New York's Governor, Kathy Hochul, there is no sign of terrorist activity with respect to this crash. Officials initially closed the Rainbow Bridge and 3 other Niagara border crossings following the explosion. The Rainbow Bridge remains closed. And officials say the operation to rescue 41 workers trapped inside a tunnel in India's Uttarakhand state has resumed after hitting a snag. They're hoping to free the workers in the next 10 to 12 hours. The workers have been inside the tunnel since November 12 after a part of it caved in due to a landslide. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Raquel Porter.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports with Jermaine Brown.